Are you a worrier and your worrying is starting to or already has taken over your life? Are you looking to overcome negative thought patterns so that you can have a better life? Do you need some quick and long term fixes to help you go from surviving to thriving? Then this video is for you. In today's videos, we'll be sharing 5 tips on how to transform your mindset and how to beat worry. We'll dive into what is worry, the types of worry, and tips to combat worry. If you're new, hi, my name is Lukey, and I create educational videos on jobs, careers, and life. If you're looking for some practical tips, advice, and life lessons, subscribe to stay up to date. And make sure you stay until the end to get all the tips to beat worry. What is worry? According to the dictionary, it's a state of anxiety and uncertainty over actual or potential problems. You might feel a bit of jitteriness, sweaty palms, butterflies in your stomach, and in severe cases, headaches and nausea. Worry is focused on the future, something that may or may not happen. Now, worry can be good, while worrying is not so helpful. There are actually 2 types of worrying. One is the planning type that ultimately leads to action, and 2 is the ruminating type, where you think your way into a downward spiral of stress and anxiety. The first type of worrying can be good. If you have a test coming up or a big presentation, it would be good to study and prepare. Planning what needs to be done to achieve your desired result, or mitigating the risk, all of that can be super helpful. But for it to be truly helpful, that planning needs to turn into action. You actually need to study. You actually need to prepare. Not just continually planning how you're going to study, where you're going to be, who you're going to study with, how you're going to prepare, versus actually studying and actually preparing. Too much planning turns into the second type of worrying, ruminating. Ruminating means to think deeply, which sounds like a good thing. However, that can lead to a downward spiral. You worry about the infinite possibilities that may never happen. Then you worry that you're worrying too much. That thinking is helpful, but only to a point. So what do? Well, consider the 5 following tips. 1 is changing your relationship with worry. 2 is changing your identity. 3 is cultivating your awareness. 4 is processing your worry. And 5 is turning your worry into action. What if having a worry is actually good? Worry shows us what we care about. Think about it. If you didn't care about it, you wouldn't worry about it, right? So instead of calling it a worry, call it what you care about. You care about doing well on that test or that presentation. And if that's the case, then we actually don't want to avoid worries. We want to prepare and plan for them. When a worry shows up, examine what you care about in that worry. Then plan to do your best. Plan to get the best result, and ultimately turn that plan into action. Meet some friends and study buddies or coworkers that could give you feedback on your presentation. Then study and review or practice your presentation and improve based on that feedback. Do you sometimes say that I'm a worrier? Keep in mind that some of the most powerful words are I am, then whatever follows. That becomes your identity. When you're a worrier, what do? Well, you worry. What if instead you tell yourself that I'm a confident person with a worry, or just that I'm a person with a worry? That identity shift doesn't have to be done officially through legal authorities or by filling out applications. All you need to do is change how you speak to yourself. You can also distance yourself from the worrying thought. Instead of saying, I'm worrying about whatever it is, you can say, I'm having a thought about worrying about whatever it is. Or even, I'm noticing that I'm having a thought about worrying about whatever it is. By changing your identity or the way you talk about worry can help you beat that downward spiral. If you're struggling with worrying, write your challenges in the comments below. Before you can start changing your relationship with worry or changing your identity, you often need to be aware of that relationship and identity as well. In the moment, it can be challenging, and you can cultivate your awareness through mindfulness practices. A bit of meditation or even just focusing on your breath can do wonders to cultivate your attention. Focusing on your breath can be quite boring, but every time you do so, then you're cultivating your awareness. You can also cultivate your awareness by breaking habitual routines. A simple way to do so is using your non-dominant hand for habitual actions. Brush your teeth with the other hand. Open the door with your other hand. Use your other hand to drink out of a cup. you'd be surprised how challenging that can be. And at the end of the day, reflect on when you would have done those things. If you are truly aware and remember that you used your non-dominant hand, those simple actions can help you cultivate your awareness. With that awareness, you can change your relationship, change your identity, or do whatever you want. This is really about planning for your worry. Be sure to time box your planning so that you don't go into rumination. Depending on the importance of the worry, you might give yourself a few minutes, an hour, a bit longer, depending on the importance of what you're worrying about. Think though, what result do you want? What do you need to get that result? What risks or issues do you foresee? And what do you need to mitigate those risks? And when your planning time is up, the goal is to put that plan into action. A helpful tool are the circles of influence and the circles of concern. You can imagine that we live in two circles that are nested inside each other. The innermost circle is the circle of influence. These are the things that you can do something about, and as the name suggests, influence. The outer circle is the circle of concern. Those are things that you are aware of, but don't necessarily have control over. When the circle of concern is just a bit bigger than the circle of influence, then there's a lot less worry that happens. However, if the circle of concern is much bigger than the circle of influence, then a lot of worry happens. Put another way, there are some things that you can control and other things that you cannot control. When you focus on what you can control, then you worry less. Another helpful saying is, worrying is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but doesn't get you anywhere. When you focus on what you can control, then the goal is to turn that control into action. If you're finding this video helpful, then why not join the Focus Inspired Academy, which is your gym for career confidence. Go deeper into these concepts and get group coaching to help. Check the link in the description box below for a free 1-month trial for supporting the channel. Which brings us to tip 5. Turn worry into action. What can you do right now to address that worry? If you need to study for an exam, how about pulling out that book to read? Or getting your notebook or tablet so you can take notes? Or sending a text to a friend to see if they have availability to study later in the day? Or even just pulling out your calendar or your to-do list? If you need to prepare for a presentation, how about reviewing the presentation slides? How about practicing in front of a mirror or recording yourself on your phone? Or reaching out to a coworker to see if they have some time to do a dry run with you? The cure to worry is action. So to beat worry, take time to change your relationship with worry, change your identity, cultivate your awareness, process your worry, and ultimately turn worrying into action. What do you think about the suggestions in the video? Let me know what tips you recommend in the comments, or if I missed anything. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips on jobs, careers, and life. And YouTube recommends that you check out these videos next. Until next time, be focused and stay inspired.